Did you ever think of this reality where technology will make its way into the biology of the brain?
Well, actually, that's a very interesting question because I've already done this. So, in the late 1990s, I was the first to do something called motor cortex stimulation for intractable pain, where we took electrodes and implanted the electrodes onto the motor cortex and then connected it to a pacemaker which was below, and that stimulated the motor cortex and removed the most difficult and intractable pain that there was.
What is the motor cortex?
The motor cortex is a part of the brain that actually controls our movements. But when the motor cortex gets stimulated, it suppresses the pain, you know. And so there was, pain which would not respond to anything. We were able to do that. So my first experience was in implanting electrodes on the brain. Subsequently, I implanted a lot of electrodes for patients in coma. So we have patients in intractable coma who were just unconscious in a vegetative state. And what we would do is we would take electrodes and put it implanted in the cervical spine and again stimulate the brain so that if there was any possibility of recovery, they would recover. So I've already worked with this.
Did
And
it work with them?
Yeah, so it did work. The pain, it helped significantly. Then in the coma, we had some patients who did improve. And one of them was actually Ramnath Parkar. He was a well-known cricketer. He used to open with Gavaskar. He had a very severe accident and injury, and I did his stimulation operation. In fact, the whole Indian cricket team had a benefit match just to be able to support him for that.
Okay.
So I've already done this. But when I was doing this, the technology was not as refined. The electrodes were larger. The equipment was a little, what it was 15, 20 years ago. But now with everything getting, microized, smaller, more easy to control. Earlier we had to, have wires coming out and stimulators. Now you can do a whole lot of this wirelessly. I believe the future will be an interface of technology with the brain, because at the end, the human brain is also, one of the most fascinating, brilliant, computer-like creations that nature has ever evolved.